What's up everybody, JustACommonFan here, back with another video, and today we're doing a quick movie review on a movie called I Feel Pretty. Now this movie stars Amy Schumer, co-stars A.D. Bryant from SNL, Bijou Phillips plays her best friends, and also a really surprised turn by Michelle Williams. And the movie is about a woman who's down on herself, low self-confidence, low self-esteem, low body image of herself, and she goes to a spin soul cycle class, gets inspired by the instructor, falls off her bike, hits her head. Her hair actually gets pulled into one of the wheels of the bike, and then when she wakes up, she feels that she's the most beautiful woman on the face of the planet. There's some things I liked about this movie, some things I didn't, and some things that really surprised me that I think you should really check out. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, first of all, what I didn't like about this movie. This movie I think is a really cute Redbox rental, but I do not think you should go out of your way to see this movie in theaters, unfortunately. It's weird because I do feel like this is a movie that you should see, especially young girls, even though there's some raunchy parts to the film because it is a Amy Schumer film. But I do think this is a film that you should see, but I don't think you should pay more than the $1.17 you'll pay for it at Redbox. I think this movie is not going to do well in theaters at all, but I think it's going to do well on streaming and rental once it's out of the theaters. And the reasons why is because the first act of the film really is really slow paced. I mean, it drags on. You kind of get the message of like, okay, here's your main character, here's her body issues, here's her self-confidence issues, here's the problems that she's gonna overcome within the film, but it just kind of drags on. She doesn't seem to have any chemistry with the cast, and I was really surprised that compared to watching Trainwreck and watching Snatched, that I was sitting in the theater and literally for the first act of the movie, there was no laughing, no chuckles or anything. And don't get me wrong, there were jokes in the movie. They were there. You could see them, but no one laughed at them. I also didn't like how the turn came in the movie. So she thinks she's not pretty, then she thinks she's the most beautiful person in the world, and then somewhere right before the third act, she becomes vain and she becomes full of herself and she pushes away her friends, and of course you can see it coming from a mile away. She becomes the exact thing that she hates about pretty people. She becomes just self-absorbed and all about herself, and that kind of threw me as well. The movie doesn't really drive home the personality of her character, whereas before she thinks she's pretty, she's super nice but super down on herself. Then she becomes pretty and she's still nice, but she's a little bit more self-confident. Then it turns to arrogance, but then sometimes she'll be nice again, and it just really wasn't consistent. I wish there would have been a consistent build to her self-absorbed behavior and her arrogant behavior, instead of just a montage of 3 minutes of showing, let's show how much of a jerk she is to her friends now. And that kind of threw me for a loop. It kind of upset me. Parents, watch this movie first, but I do think that young girls, maybe around the age of 16, 15, who are going through body issues or self-confidence issues, or even guys, because let's not be wrong, guys may not talk about it, but we go through those same issues as well. And I think that would be something really cool for a teen to watch, to kind of get inspired, to feel comfortable within their own skin. Now, what I did like about the movie, the second half of the movie where she thinks she feels pretty, before the third half where, everything immediately goes wrong and then she immediately has to overcome it, and then she's a stronger person because of it, just like every single movie like this. The second half of the movie I think was pretty funny. Again, I chuckled, but I never laughed out loud like I did with Trainwreck, or even how I did some parts of Snatched. But there are some parts that are really funny when she wakes up and she thinks she's the most beautiful thing in the world. She's looking at her body, she's like, "Oh, my arms! Oh, my legs! They're perfect!" I thought that was really funny, and seeing her response to how she assumed people were opening doors for her, or she assumed that people were hating on her, or and how she's oblivious to everybody else's responses is hilarious. I do think there's a really good message there that can work for kids, that can work for adults, but there's just really nothing that's drive home funny that's gonna make you feel like, man, this is a great comedy that I should tell other people about. The jokes are there, Some of them land, but most of them just fly right by. And now for the surprising. So there's two things in this movie three things in this movie that surprised me. One, I do think that the romance between her and the main character worked well. There's something that happens in the well, not the main character, she is the main character, but her and the male lead, I think their romance worked out pretty well, which again kind of made me feel weird because while she ended up being self-absorbed and arrogant towards her friends, never towards him, which is one of the problems I have with the movie. But I think that their relationship worked very well. There's a obvious turn that happens in the movie that you assume is going to go one way, and thankfully they didn't go that way. So I was actually really appreciated that. And so yeah, I think that that relationship between those two worked out very well. I can't remember the name of the actor, but Amy Schumer and the male lead, I think they had pretty good chemistry in their relationship. The way it builds was really funny. There's a scene. There's a scene that is partly in the trailer. I don't want to give away too much, but it's Amy Schumer's new confident self entering some bikini contest at a bar that looks like it's on the Jersey Shore, Coney Island, or something like that. I'm not going to give it away, but it definitely was one of the parts of the movie that I laughed out loud. And it was one of the best examples of her character's newfound confidence while staying true to who she really is, and also just hilarious physical humor by Amy Schumer. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. It also had a really good cameo from Dave Attell, one of my favorite comedians growing up as a kid. So Dave Attell, great to see you back at work and great scene. So I won't spoil that for you. Another thing that really surprised me is that there's a cameo in here by Shashir Zameda from Saturday Night Live. She was the African American female cast member that was added after the fact that they said that there weren't enough black women on SNL. She had some lines in here, and she had more lines in this movie than she ever did on SNL. So I thought that was really good. And the last thing I liked about this movie was Michelle Williams. Michelle Williams, Oscar nominated. I don't know if she's won an Oscar or not, but you know, in Dawson's Creek, termed serious actress Michelle Williams. Her character in this film is so hilarious. She has this weird thing with her voice where she always kind of talks like this, where she kind of feels like she's channeling the spirit of Jennifer Tilly, and nobody takes her seriously, even though she's a CEO of a really popular makeup company. I thought that was hilarious. Michelle Williams is such a good actress. I don't really know what in her career made her do this film, because her career is going pretty well, but she is hilarious. She commits to that voice. She commits to this character's personality, and she did have me laughing, but not from what she was saying, by just the fact that Michelle Williams was playing this kind of character. So I really enjoyed that. One other thing I really liked about the movie is that Amy Schumer character works for a really expensive high-end makeup line, and the makeup line is creating a diffusion line of their products to place in Target stores. A lot of Target promotion in this movie, well, a lot of mentioning of Target in this movie. And what a diffusion line means for those that aren't in the makeup world like I am, it means that it's just a cheaper, more economical line for customers that can't afford the high-end products. And I do like how Michelle Williams, who's the CEO of the company, her grandmother talked about how the diffusion line has to be practical for the average woman. And there was a scene where they talked about not having a brush within a makeup kit, and Amy Schumer tells them, you know, she's like, you know, regular women who put on their makeup on the way to work are going to be pissed if there's not a brush in a makeup kit that they paid $8 for at Target. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. I really wish they would have played up that fact more about how companies target their products for high-end stores for their for customers who want to pay that much money, as opposed to their products in bargain shopping stores like Target and Walmart. So I think that was really cool. I really would have liked more of that in the film, about, you know, them working on the diffusion line. But yeah, that's just a small thing. I just thought it was pretty cool. So that's it, guys. That's my review of I Feel Pretty. Just little quick things about what I did like, what I didn't like, and some things I thought you should know about. Definitely check it out. But remember, I think it's going to do better on streaming. This is a movie you probably want to wait at Redbox. Parents watch it first, and then you can show it to your teens. Teens should probably be around 15, 16 years old. And it does drive home a very important image about self-confidence and body, very important message about self-confidence and body image. But I just don't think they landed all the jokes and comedy that they were going for. But I think it's a movie that you guys should check out on Redbox. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a common fan. Hey, no, no.